The truth about inner peace. Joy is natural. Happiness is natural. The simple pleasure of being alive is natural. What is not natural is living in unhappiness, not loving ourselves, feeling ungrateful for life, or existing in emotional misery. And yet, somehow, we have been taught to accept all of this as norm-ace. We've been conditioned to believe that dissatisfaction is just part of life. And that leads us to a powerful question. Is life really supposed to feel this way? The truth is, most people never discover how to move from a state of inner heaviness to a state of genuine joy. They keep searching, trying different paths, but something always seems to block the way. So what is the key to this transition? The answer is surprisingly simple, yet deeply transformative: acceptance. But what does acceptance really mean? It means allowing everything within you, your emotions, your past experiences, your hidden pain, to come to the surface. It means not resisting what you feel. Because when you stop resisting, something incredible begins to happen. What is natural starts to flow again. The problem is not the emotions themselves, but the act of holding them in, suppressing them, refusing to let them be seen. That is what keeps the pain alive. When you change your approach and allow these emotions to surface, the energy that was once trapped begins to move freely again. And when that energy flows, joy is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that naturally arises within you. Now, there is something important to understand. Many people will tell you that if you allow past emotions or traumas to come up, you risk re-traumatizing yourself. But this is a misunderstanding. Yes, you can re-traumatize yourself if you constantly analyze and relive the details of what happened. This is often the approach of traditional Western therapy, breaking down the event, revisiting every detail, trying to understand the why and the how. And while that can bring awareness, it can also keep you emotionally stuck in the same place. There is another way, a different perspective that doesn't focus on the story, but on the emotional residue left behind. It doesn't matter who did what, or exactly how it happened. What matters is what is still stored inside you. Your unconscious mind holds on to this emotional energy, and it constantly tries to release it. But your conscious mind resists, suppresses, and blocks that release. When you simply allow the feelings to rise, without judgment, without analysis, you are not re-traumatizing yourself. You are freeing yourself. You are allowing something that was frozen to finally move again. And here lies one of the most powerful insights. No emotion is painful by itself. Pain is created through resistance. Suffering is born when we reject what we feel. But when we accept, when we allow, suffering dissolves. What remains is growth, clarity, and a return to your natural state, which is joy. This message is especially powerful for those who feel stuck, who ask themselves, is this really all life has to offer? Why does everything feel so heavy, so empty? The answer often lies not in the present moment, but in the way we were shaped. Our upbringing, our environment, our early experiences, they all planted seeds within us. And many of those seeds grew into patterns of stress, anxiety, and emotional disconnection. Think about it. When you feel stressed, overwhelmed, unable to sleep, or simply unhappy, your first instinct is to ask, how do I fix this? How do I feel better? How do I become happy? But that may not be the right question. A more powerful question is, what am I doing that is preventing joy from happening naturally in my life? When you begin to see life through this lens, everything changes. You start to recognize what could be called the weeds in your inner world, patterns, beliefs, and emotional habits that you've carried since childhood. These are not your fault, but they are your responsibility to understand. And this is where true transformation begins. Because once you see clearly, once you understand where these patterns come from, something shifts inside you. Instead of confusion, there is clarity. Instead of self-blame, there is compassion. You begin to realize, there is nothing wrong with you. You were simply shaped by a process you didn't choose. A process that, in many ways, distorted your natural state. Yes, there may have been damage. But that damage is not permanent. It only continues as long as it remains unseen and unacknowledged. The moment you bring awareness and acceptance to it, you begin to release it. And when you release it, transformation happens. Suddenly, the things you've been searching for, peace, joy, fulfillment, start to appear, not as something external, but as something that was always within you. And this is why joy is so powerful. In a world driven by fear, pressure, and control, choosing to live with joy is a radical act. It is not just personal transformation, it is a quiet revolution. Now imagine a path where this transformation becomes practical. A process that guides you step by step. Not through complexity, but through simplicity. Through awareness. Through small, consistent actions. Even something as simple as 5 minutes of daily relaxation can begin to shift your inner state. 5 minutes of allowing, of observing, of not resisting. Over time, this creates space. And in that space, clarity begins to grow. As you continue, you start to notice patterns. How your past shaped your reactions, how certain habits keep repeating, how unconscious behaviors continue to sabotage your well-being. But instead of feeling overwhelmed, you begin to feel empowered. Because awareness gives you choice. And with choice, you can begin to let go of what no longer serves you. The process is not complicated. It is natural. It unfolds step by step. And the more you engage with it, the more effortless it becomes. So now, ask yourself, is there anything more important than your own life? Is there anything more valuable than learning how to live it with joy? Because at the end of the day, joy is not something you need to create. It is something you need to allow. And the moment you stop resisting, it begins to flow.